Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today, we are going to be breaking down the AFC East. If you haven't seen our previous two videos, we already talked about the AFC West and the NFC West, and we gave predictions on who we believe are going to win those divisions and the standings that I believe are going to end up happening at the end of this year. And today, we're moving on to the AFC East, which I actually think is one of the easiest divisions to predict who's going to be at the tippy top of it, because you pretty much know who's at the tippy top of it. It is one of the creme de la cremes of the NFL, and they made some great moves this offseason. So we're going to break it down, and we're basically going to talk about why the Bills are going to be the kings of this division again in the AFC East. So yeah, let's just break it down, and I already gave you the spoiler. Let's just talk about it right off the rip. Why the Buffalo Bills are going to be the number one team in the AFC East, and I don't even think it's going to be close. It is going to be by probably a 3, possibly even a 4-game margin. So the Buffalo Bills last year, reigning MVP of the NFL, Josh Allen, threw for 3,700 yards, 28 touchdown passes, also added 12 more on the ground, leading Buffalo to a franchise record 63 touchdowns and over 500 points. And he is the exact reason why this team is going to end up being number one in that division this year in the AFC East and potentially all of the AFC. The Buffalo Bills are just that good. And on top of that, they absolutely doubled down on the defensive side of the ball, bringing in Joey Bosa on a 2-year deal, which I absolutely love. And then their first round pick, Maxwell Hairston, very good corner out of Kentucky. They also bring in D-tackle TJ Sanders, edge rusher Landon Jackson. They also bring in Deon Walker. They are getting so scary on the defensive side of the ball. And regardless of who they have playing wide receiver for them, which I do think that their wide receiver core is getting better this year, as long as they have Josh Allen and a good defense, this team is poised to make a run. And that's why I actually think they may make the Super Bowl this year. Spoiler alert. They do have a wide receiver by committee style. You know, ever since they got rid of Stephon Diggs, they've been trying to find that one guy on the offensive side of the ball who was like their focal point other than Josh Allen, obviously. You know, they have James Cook, who's a running back who does a lot for them. He's very good, but they just haven't had that guy on the outside who was like their number one focal point. We all thought it was going to be Keon Coleman. He didn't have the best year, but now they have a wide receiver by committee style, where it's Elijah Moore, it's Josh Palmer, it's Keon Coleman, it's Khalil Shakir, who did have a breakout season last year. So I think regardless of who they have on the outside, this team is poised to win 13, 14 games this year. I think they are that good. So let's break down their schedule. They have some tough games on this schedule. Week 1, they open up versus the Ravens. That's Sunday Night Football. That's going to be great. But the rest of their schedule is pretty easy. They have the 23rd most difficult schedule in all of the NFL. It is just that freaking easy for a team that is poised to make a run at possibly winning a Super Bowl. Having a schedule that easy, yeah, it is. It's going to be a cakewalk for them in the AFC throughout the entire league, because right now their odds to win the AFC East are minus 325. You have to bet $325 just to make $100, because that's how good they are right now across the entire league, mostly in the AFC East. Their win total is at 11.5, but sharp money is leaning on the over, because the over for that is minus 160. Their AFC title odds are plus 340, and their Super Bowl odds are plus 700, which I kind of like that right now for them. But yeah, this team is very good. They're poised to make a run. I have them finishing first in the AFC East. Secondly, we are going to move on to the team that I think is going to finish second in the AFC East. And this is a team that, you know, they had a very down year. They're trying to build themselves back up, but they're going in the right direction, in my opinion. And that is the New England Patriots. They are going from dumpster fire to a dark horse in this division. Now, I don't think they're going to be anywhere close to where the Buffalo Bills are. Not even close whatsoever. I think that this team can win 10, 9 games, maybe. I think that the Buffalo Bills are going to pull away in this division by 3 or 4 games, honestly. But bringing in Mike Vrabel as head coach, going from one of the worst head coaches of all time in Gerard Mayo, just is going to flip something in this team, because I still can't believe that the Tennessee Titans got rid of Mike Vrabel, and now he is going to completely change the culture of what the New England Patriots are. They're bringing Josh McDaniels back as OC. I know that Josh McDaniels wasn't there at the time where a lot of these players were on the team, but he has proven to be a very good offensive coordinator in this league. And I think with the style that what Mike Vrabel wants to do, he's going to completely change the culture of this team. Josh McDaniels is a very good offensive coordinator. This New England Patriot team can look like a dark horse, because Drake May actually had a very good year last year. And listen, I think that he can make a jump again into year number 2. Listen, he made the Pro Bowl last year under nefarious circumstances. Not many people went to the Pro Bowl, so I think the Pro Bowl thing, because people are like, well, he was a Pro Bowl quarterback last year. I think that's absolute BS and hogwash, we'll say. However, if you really want to make the jump from year 1 to year 2 as a quarterback, bringing in Stephon Diggs. Now, I understand he's hurt. I understand that there were a little bit of problems off the field, that whole stuff with him on the boat, and everyone thought he had illegal drugs on him. Listen, this guy can still ball out. This guy can still play, and he's going to help out Drake May immensely, especially with Josh McDaniels as the offensive coordinator. And the draft plan for the New England Patriots this year was great. First round, they brought in an absolute dog at tackle, Will Campbell. He is going to be a plug-and-play guy. His mentality the second he got drafted, he's like, I am going to die for my quarterback. I am going to put it on the line for this team. He is going to be a 15-year vet in the NFL with that mentality. Playing for the New England Patriots, playing for Mike Vrabel. I am scared to be on the opposite side of the ball versus Will Campbell, because he is willing to do whatever to make sure the team wins. So they got an absolute dog. They also bring in an explosive element that they've been missing. They bring in Travion Henderson, who has looked incredible in the preseason. I get it's the preseason, but every time this dude touches the ball, it has been an electric factory. And then for some of their day 2 picks, they bring in Kyle Williams and Jared Wilson. Kyle Williams is a dark horse this year. He's a sleeper type guy who I think is poised for a breakout. But yeah, this team last year was very bad when it came to narrow, short games. They lost 8 narrow games, and they were 6-3 in just one-loss score games. Or in one-score games, sorry. And combined this year, they have the second easiest schedule in all of the NFL. So bringing in Mike Vrabel, who's going to change the culture, another year with Drake May, who he has high expectations, but not like Jaden Daniels, where Jaden Daniels made it to the NFC Championship game. Like Drake May, if he makes the playoffs, that is a very successful year for him. They bring in Will Campbell, who is an absolute dog. They bring in Travion Henderson. I absolutely love what the New England Patriots can do this year. Stephon Diggs is now on the team. They had other good weapons. Listen, I like what this team can do, and I don't think that they're going to be able to be at a level of the Buffalo Bills. They're not winning 13 or 14 games, but can they win 10 games? Can they win 9 games? I think they can. And this goes to show you that right now they have a plus 475 odds to win the AFC East. I don't think that there's any bet in the AFC East for this team to win, for any team other than the Bills to win the AFC East. But their win total this year is 8.5 projected win total, which is the biggest jump from last year. Last year, their projected win total was only 4 games. Now they're projected to win over 8.5. In my money, honestly, I think I would take the over on that. I think they're going to win 9 or 10 games this year. And they do have, a high, they're not going to make the Super Bowl. If anything, they're going to be a wild card team. They could maybe win a game, but they're going to get bounced in the second round at most. But listen, Mike Vrabel, you have Josh McDaniels now, a new left tackle, a new wide receiver 1, a very soft schedule, not a tough schedule, a very soft schedule. The ceiling for this team, in my opinion, is 10-7. The New England Patriots are on the rise, and they are a dark horse, not to win the Super Bowl, not to win the AFC East, but to spoil the season for somebody. They can make it to a wild card game and spoil the playoffs for a team, and I like what the Patriots are doing. I hate the New England Patriots, but I love what they're doing. Let's move on to who I believe is going to be third in this division, and that is the New York Jets. And listen, they bring in Justin Fields, who came over from the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers didn't re-sign him, so he signed a 2-year, $40 million contract with the New York Jets, and he's now in a new ecosystem where ex-Detroit Lions defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn is now the head coach. Tanner Egstrand, who was the pass game staff coordinator for the Detroit Lions, is coming over as the OC. The whole structure is changing for the New York Jets, but we've seen this happen before with the New York Jets. Can this team figure out what's going on with Justin Fields? The Chicago Bears couldn't do it. I would say the Steelers were on track to do that before they plugged in Russell Wilson and completely ruined their entire season. We'll see what Aaron Glenn can do. Aaron Rodgers had issue with the way that he came in and kind of took over the team. But again, he just didn't want Aaron Rodgers, and it was kind of like a sour goodbye for him. I liked what Aaron Glenn did with the Lions. We'll see if it can translate to being a head coach in the NFL. I thought that they were going to try to go the route of not a defensive guy, but more of an offensive guy, because we're obviously moving towards an offensive league, and you have Justin Fields, but we'll see. We will see. They also had a pretty decent draft. They bring in protection for Justin Fields. They bring in Armin Membu. They get Justin Fields a weapon, another weapon, because they have Breece Hall. They have Garrett Wilson. They give him Mason Taylor. They also bring in a speed guy in Adrian Smith. They have Malachi Moore, and they brought him in, and they still have a very good defense. They still have Sauce Gardner. They still have Quinnen Williams. This defense is elite. The only question is, can they figure it out on the offensive side of the ball? Because Aaron Rodgers was supposed to be the guy to figure it out for them. Their defense was supposed to be elite. None of that all came together. So can Justin Fields do what Aaron Rodgers was supposed to do? Now, I know Aaron Rodgers was hurt. I know Aaron Rodgers is over 40 years old. But Justin Fields needs to learn how to win from the pocket. And we're hoping that this offensive line for the Jets can hold up. We're hoping that the weapons can hold up for Justin Fields to distribute the ball to them. Justin Fields, in my opinion, does not need to overexert himself on making the big plays. They have weapons, and he just needs to be able to distribute the ball. I understand that everyone's like, well, that's what a quarterback does. He distributes the ball. He just needs to just make the right read and distribute the ball. Don't try to bail out of the pocket too fast. Don't try to make the big play just for big play's sake. Now, there's going to be times where you have to do that, but just distribute the ball where it needs to go. If Garrett Wilson isn't open, don't try to force it. Just look for your check down. Look for Mason Taylor. Look for Breece Hall. We're going to see if Justin Fields can make that next step in, oh, my first read isn't there. Where are the rest of my guys on the field? Can he scan the entire field? Because that seemed to be a struggle for him where, oh, my first read isn't there. I'm going to bail out of the pocket. And then, he can make things happen with his legs. He's a very good runner, but he also got hit a lot when he was in Chicago. And this offensive line right now for the New York Jets isn't the best, so we'll see if they can hold up and help Justin Fields be able to distribute the ball where it needs to go. Now, Justin Fields' first true road test this year is the 49ers. We're going to see how good, we're going to see right from the get-go, is Justin Fields ready? Because he also, his week 1 game is against a Pittsburgh Steelers defense, his former team. That's tough. And then weeks 3 through 5, he has a brutal gauntlet. So week 1, you have the Steelers. Week 2, you have the 49ers. Then through week 3 and 5, you have to play the Bills and the Chiefs. Week 14, you have the Bills, which, listen, they could be in a 1-4 spot after week 5, which would just be absolutely devastating. They have a brutal schedule this year, and that's reflected in their AFC championship, or their AFC East odds. Sorry. They are a plus 1,900. They have a Super Bowl odds of plus 25,000. This team, I don't even think is going to come close to even making I shouldn't say they won't come close to making the playoffs. I think they'll be in the hunt kind of all year. But I think that this, like, if they start off 1-4, their season is retroactively over. And right now their win total is not fully posted, but the market consensus on them is 7 games. It's hard for me to really, because, like, I think this is a 7-win team, but can they go and hit their ceiling, which is probably an 8-9? Yes, but it's tough. That first gauntlet is really hard. Will it, demoralize them if they start off 1-4? I just don't know. And that's why right now I have the New York Jets as 3rd in the division. I think the Miami Dolphins are a lot worse, and they're in a lot worse spot than them, even though I think they do have some sort of better weapons. I just don't like the way the Miami Dolphins are trending. But right now, the Jets are, I guess they're on the up and up, but you never know with this team. I think that if I had to put money on it, I would say that they're going to win less than 7 games this year, maybe even just a push on that. I think that they are going to go 6-11. I think they'll go 7-10. I'm going to either win or push on my money, but I like Justin Fields. Aaron Glenn, we'll see what he can do, but right now I have them finishing 3rd in the AFC East. And then let's just round it all out. I gave it to you in the last segment. The Miami Dolphins, listen, they're built pretty. They have weapons, but I just do not like their defense. I don't like this drama that's going on with them and Tyreek Hill. Devon Achane apparently is hurt. So they lose Jalen Ramsey, but they do bring in Minkah Fitzpatrick. Minkah Fitzpatrick has been having down years, though, the past couple of years for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I guess we'll see if he can revitalize his career going back to Miami. I don't really trust that too much. I think Jalen Ramsey right now is a better player than Minkah Fitzpatrick, but we'll see what goes on with that. They drafted Kenneth Grant. They brought in Jonah Savalina. I hope I'm saying that right. So they're trying to shore up the trenches, which is how this team needs to build. They have pretty weapons. They have Jalen Waddle. They have Devon Achane. They might be bringing in Brian Robinson Jr. Tua, they got to keep him healthy. Tyreek Hill. You know the names that are going on with the Miami Dolphins, but you got to build in the trenches, which they did that. And then, they took Quinn Ewers, which I think is kind of a nothing pick, but you never know with Tua's injury history. Quinn Ewers might be thrown in there and have to be playing quarterback this year, which I think is going to, that's going to be completely ugly. And they do sign Matthew Judon. He is pass rush help. But Tyreek Hill, he has been weird this offseason. It was like he doesn't want to play for Miami, but he's all locked into Miami, and he's feuding with the coaching staff, and he's not practicing, he's not stretching. It's weird. It's completely weird, and I think because of all this drama, I think because of everything that's going wrong with the Miami Dolphins, sadly, I think Mike McDaniel is on the hot seat this year, and if I had to guess, I think that he's probably going to lose his job because I don't think this team is going to be very good this year. I really don't. I understand that it's not his fault that Tua gets hurt all the time. I understand it's not his fault completely that a lot of his players speak out loud, and that's a risk for the team. And, I like Mike McDaniel as a guy, but right now as a coach, it's just not working out. He maybe needs to go back into a system and be an offensive coordinator and kind of get his confidence back. But right now, I don't think that this Miami Dolphin team is going to really make any sort of splash in the AFC East. They have their first litmus test, which is week 3 versus the Bills. They get a reset, though, if they get killed in that game, which I think they will. They play the Panthers, but the end of the year for them, they have to play the Jets. They have to play the Steelers. I think this team is going to pack it in early this year. I think December, we're going to know that this team is just not in a good spot. They have better odds to win the AFC East than the Jets do. They have a plus 900 odds. They have a middle of the pack schedule, but on paper, this team looks pretty. This team looks good, but just the injury histories, who knows what's going on with Tyreek Hill. They got rid of Jalen Ramsey. They still got to build in the trenches. I can't see this team winning more than 6 games. I really can't. Now, can they finish better than the Jets? They absolutely can. Can they finish worse than the Jets? I absolutely believe so. But is there any way that I think that they finish better than the New England Patriots? No. Absolutely no way that I think that they do. I think the Patriots win out for that second spot by 2 or 3 games. I don't like what's going on with the Miami Dolphins, and I think Mike McDaniel loses his job this year. That's why I had them in the basement of the AFC East and possibly picking top, we'll say maybe top 10 next year in the NFL draft. I don't like it whatsoever. So yeah, the predicted division for me, the Buffalo Bills, I have them going 13-4 or 14-3. The New England Patriots, I have them either going 9-8 or 10-7. The Jets, I have them possibly winning 7 or 8 games this year and being in the hunt. And the Miami Dolphins, I have them either going 5-12 or 6-11. And this division is so easy to pick a winner. It's complete chalk. Nobody's going to outsmart Vegas on this one. The Buffalo Bills are far and away the best team in the AFC East. Could possibly be far and away the best team in all of the AFC. We'll see what goes on with them. The Patriots, they are a surprise team. They are a team that could be a dark horse, win a wild card game, make it to the second round. They're going to end somebody's season, and they're going to do it in brutal fashion because I think this team is going to be ground and pound, run it down your throat. Mike Vrabel is going to take this team to special places in a few years. This is just his baseline year. I think that baseline is going to be over 500 for sure. The Dolphins are a definite fade team for me, and the New York Jets, I think, are just the goddamn Jets. I think they're going to do what they always do, and they're going to disappoint. I think they're going to disappoint. I think they're going to be under 500. I think they're going to pick middle of the pack, and yeah, I just don't. I like what the Jets have done. I don't think they can get it done. I don't like the Miami Dolphins this year. I think the Miami Dolphins on paper look like a better team than the Jets. Actually, I really don't believe that. They have better weapons overall, but yeah, I don't like the Miami Dolphins. I don't think the Jets are going to be that good. I think the New England Patriots are going to be a dark horse, and the Buffalo Bills are far and away going to win this division. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to check out our other videos. We talked about the NFC West and the AFC West. In our next video, we are going to be talking about the NFC East, which I think is a very fun division. And then after that, leave a comment. Which division do you want me to talk about next, the North or the South? And we will break all of that down for you right before football season. So, hey, thank you guys so much. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Make sure you're hitting that bell notification. Check out our free monthly newsletter as well, where every single week I'm going to be giving you my best bet for the NFL, my best bet for college football. Plus, you're going to get weekly content sent to you every single Friday. I'm not going to spam you every single day with content. It is an absolutely free newsletter. So if you want fun news, real news, hot takes, I'm going to send that to you guys every single Friday. Again, make sure you're hitting that sub button and that bell notification, and follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. You're watching me on YouTube, but I make YouTube shorts. Follow us everywhere on our short form platforms. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate every single one of you who stuck around and watched this video, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Hope you have a beautiful week. And on Friday, for the Hail Mary, which is my podcast, I'm going to be breaking down my bracket for the college football playoffs. So if you're a college football guy, you do not want to miss out on that. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Peace out. Later.